Do you ever have that gut feeling where you're like, you just feel something? You can't explain it, but you feel it. Okay, so for example, recently I was talking with somebody. I was kind of skeptical about spirituality, and that's fine. You don't have to believe in anything. But I said, okay, well, he started complaining about a client who wasn't paying an invoice. As we were talking a little bit more, he had said, well, I had a gut feeling that she wouldn't be an ideal client. And he still decided to choose to work with her. And I said, that is your intuition, that gut feeling. And your gut feeling never lies. You're never wrong. It is an intuition because that's accessing our unconscious brain, which is absolutely connected with a higher realm. We can't see air, but we're breathing, and we know we're breathing air. It's the same thing. Or if you walk into, let's say a couple had a fight, you didn't see them have a fight, but you walk into there, you can feel the tension. You can feel that it's different. If you walk into a yoga studio after they did a nice yoga meditation, you can feel the love energy there. You walk into a gym, you can feel the energy is going to be different than the yoga studio, right? So this is energy, and energy is at that higher frequency. That's what we're tapping into. Hi, welcome to the Flourishing podcast. I'm Rosalind Fung. I'm a transformational leadership coach. I am a former psychologist, spiritual guide, and a flourishing workplace trainer and facilitator. What I'd love to dive in today is to talk about 3 important pillars in my business that I love to support my clients in, because these are the 3 pillars and areas I believe that are important to apply in not just our businesses, but also in our lives. And so I hope that this episode really lands in your heart. I hope that this gives you some more food for thought in terms of how you are approaching your business as well as your life. The 3 pillars I really love to focus on are neuroscience and psychology. I also, of course, love to focus on the business side of things, and I'll go more into details with each of these pillars. And then the 3rd pillar is spirituality. And so when all of these pillars are put together, this equals leadership, empowered, flourishing leadership. Now, when I look at leadership, it's not just somebody with a title, somebody that happens to run an organization or manage people. It really is a state of being, a way of being. And I also love to break that down. First and foremost, even if we're not leading people, but perhaps we are the team member ourselves, that there's self-led leadership. Self-led leadership is where we get to really show up for ourselves, show up for our dreams, show up for what it is that we want in our life. Because guess what? You deserve that. That's right. I know that some of you need to hear that. You deserve to have what you want. I know that might seem a little simplistic, but let me ask you, are you going for what you want? Are you actually taking action steps towards getting what it is that you want? If you look at your credit card statement, are you purchasing, investing in resources and tools and mentors to support you in getting what you want? That's right, I'm pausing on purpose because I want you to really answer these questions. The truth is, most people are sabotaging themselves. How do I know this? Because I work with many clients who are. We consciously know what we want. So our conscious brain, we operate in that. It's 10% of our brain. All learning, all behavior, all change, all results that we see in our life, desired and undesirable, is because of the 90% of our brain, the unconscious mind. My favorite thing to work with. And so I'm going to actually start with the neuroscience psychology pillar. With this pillar, this is really about diving deeper into the unconscious mind. So I'm a former psychologist. I was a psychologist for over 10 years. and in private practice. Psychology to this day is such a huge foundation. It is everything based on results. This is going to tell us a lot about what is happening in your unconscious mind. When you get a result you want, so when you manifest, that's because the conscious brain and the unconscious part of our brain is matching. Those thoughts are matching. So we can manifest things, but sometimes we then lose it. So let's talk about maybe releasing weight. Maybe you're on a weight loss journey and you hit that goal. And then what happens? All of a sudden, that weight starts to creep back on. Or let's talk about money goals. Maybe you do hit that 30K month, but then you notice the next month it's like 10K. And then the following month it's like 5K. And then the following month it might be 15K. It's like this roller coaster. Are you following me? Does this resonate? And so I want you to be, first of all, gentle and compassionate, non-judgmental with yourself in this reflection process. And get curious. Curiosity is the biggest tool to support you in your journey of growth. We cannot be curious and judgmental at the same time. The two simply cannot exist. Okay? And so choose curiosity and go, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? What beliefs unconsciously are there? I keep being on this roller coaster, whether it's with my health, with my money, my business, with my relationships. Hey, maybe you keep, if you're single and you're dating and you keep attracting the same type of person, the same patterns that happen in those relationships. I used to be a marriage and family therapist. There's something there because you're the common denominator, right? And again, that's not a good or bad thing. It just is. And so we lean in and stay curious. This is why I love to have mentors myself. I love to have somebody, because we can't look at our own unconscious mind. How does this even happen? How do these things even form? Well, it's because they're formed usually in childhood. At the very core of us, we want to feel loved, safe, and belong. As that child, we mostly are living in our unconscious brain because the conscious one is still developing. So that's why children can learn so fast. They absorb like sponges. They can learn so many languages at that young age. As that's happening, they're taking in so much information. The unconscious brain, to this day, absolutely takes in information so quickly. With this, what happens is we start to create these patterns. And these patterns then form habits. And these thoughts then deepen. And we're not even conscious about this. They just become automatic. And they influence our behaviors. They influence how we perceive the world. And so we are attracted to certain things or a way of being because at some point it did work for us and then it didn't. And so if you're resonating with this, this is where one of my superpowers come in. I love helping people stop this yo-yoing with money or with whatever, their health, with these patterns that aren't working for them in their relationships, and really have that breakthrough. And not just a breakthrough, but like a quantum breakthrough, because we are working with the unconscious mind. And that usually happens, all of our conscious is stored in the body, right? It's stored there. So we work very quickly to shift those things. I also just got certified in NLP, hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy, which works with the unconscious brain. And it's such a powerful work. And so this is really what I love to do when I come in to work one-on-one with business owners, leaders, to really look at what is going on, not just in your personal life. I love to look at things holistically, not just in your work life, but also in your personal life, right? And so from here, it's looking at where are the areas that are a gap for you? What are the patterns that are no longer serving, supporting? What are the things that you need to release? When it comes to psychology of working with teams, this is where we bring in more of the group dynamics. This is where my work with Flourishing comes in. And this is looking at, when it comes to teams, How are you leading? Where's your mindset at? What's your leadership strengths? Where are your opportunities of growth? We don't call them weaknesses. We call them opportunities of growth, because that's what it is, right? And we all have opportunities of growth. Nobody's perfect. And so this is looking at how can we lead? So maybe I'll paint an example of this. So when I'm working with one of my clients, she recently, it's the month of December as I'm sharing this with you. I work with her one-on-one very closely and intimately, and I work with her team about a couple hours a month and on Zoom. And so in this particular session that we had, I do a lot of mindset with these ladies, a lot of manifesting. I love looking at what do we need to shift in terms of belief, but also with, because it's a group of powerful women, and also with what are we needing to shift here? What are some of the themes? Where are people feeling stuck? And so it's very interesting to see when we had them reflect, I had them reflect on what were your wins, not just from last month, but from the whole year. Who did you become from the beginning of 2024 to who you are now? And that was a very powerful question for them. They got really energized to look at what happened in this year. And I said, focus on what qualities did you develop? What skills did you develop? What achievements did you accomplish? And boy, did that energize them. And so really focusing on strengths is important. In the workplace, this is what we focus on at Flourishing, is what are your strengths? Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you focus more on your strengths, it becomes more evident and you grow that confidence, competent loop. The more confidence you have, the more competent you feel. And it's like the infinity sign. So it's a beautiful feedback loop. So that's the neuroscience. I can dive deeper into that, but essentially that's where I love to focus on when it comes to the neuroscience psychology pillar. Now let's look at the business pillar. A lot of times business owners, leaders come to see me because they are feeling plateaued in their business. They may not even have a vision, or they feel lost in that vision. They're not even sure if they want to be doing this anymore. And they're like, I need to know, where am I going? And so this is where we really explore, what is your why? What's your purpose? What's your vision? Let's paint that. And so sometimes it's like, okay, well, put all money aside. What's your passion? What are you passionate about? Then it's looking at what's that mission. And so when we get really clear about that, with a business owner, often it's their personal values that are instilled into the business. That's really important. If it's a manager, so a leader within an organization, we still look at what are their values. What is the values of the company? And hopefully they're still aligned, right? Because if not, then it's looking at, maybe this isn't such a great fit for you. When you need to be aligned with the organization that matches your values. So that's really important. A good hiring tip as well when you're looking for recruiting new staff, when you're looking for team members, if you're an insurance agent or realtor, right? Like you're looking for new team members, everyone needs to have alignment in the values. It's so much easier. Like attracts like. And so I also love to focus on marketing and messaging, how to put your content out there with who you authentically are. Not this script, but who are you authentically? That's really important because your vibe will attract your tribe. Your message will get out there as you are more and more of you. We also look at what other areas of your business, in terms of growth do you need? What's missing? What tools? What resources? What help are you not asking for? And so when we set that up, what systems? Oh my goodness, systems are sexy. We need systems to help us automate. One of them is email marketing. One of them can be a CRM. These are all things that support you so that you're not doing it all yourself, or even hiring assistants. These are really important. Of course, it matters what stage of business you're at. Now I want to talk about the final pillar, which is spirituality. And this is going to mean different things to different people. So please take this in a way that's meaningful for you. For some, they may be faith-based, God. For others, it may be the universe, a higher power, your higher self. I want to talk about things more so because I am a spiritual guide. I'm very intuitive, and I work with the Akashic Records, which is your soul's library. And so I love being able to channel messages that are coming from God consciousness. If we look at the world we are in, this is third dimension. When we tap into our purpose, this is fourth dimension, okay? And then when we tap into our intuition, we all got it. I'll prove it to you. Okay, that's our fifth dimension. Do you ever have that gut feeling where you're like, you just feel something? You can't explain it, but you feel it. Okay, so for example, recently I was talking with somebody who was kind of skeptical about spirituality, and that's fine. You don't have to believe in anything. But I said, okay, well, he started complaining about a client who wasn't paying an invoice. As we were talking a little bit more, he had said, well, I had a gut feeling that she wouldn't be an ideal client. And he still decided to choose to work with her. And I said, that is your intuition, that gut feeling. And your gut feeling never lies. You're never wrong. It is an intuition because that's accessing our unconscious brain, which is absolutely connected with a higher realm. We can't see air, but we're breathing, and we know we're breathing air. It's the same thing. Or if you walk into, let's say a couple had a fight, you didn't see them have a fight, but you walk into there, you can feel the tension. You can feel that it's different. If you walk into a yoga studio after they did a nice yoga meditation, you can feel the love energy there. You walk into a gym, you can feel the energy is going to be different than the yoga studio, right? So this is energy, and energy is at that higher frequency. That's what we're tapping into. And so in this pillar, I have a gift of being able to see with my third eye your soul's purpose, your soul's path, what you're here for. And I'm also able to support you with the other tools I have. If there's things that are not serving and supporting you in this lifetime, then it's looking at really what is that belief system there, right? And then we're clearing that. We're energetically clearing what doesn't serve and support. And then we're activating with energy what is serving, supporting you, and amplifying that at your highest timeline. And so with spirituality, it's also looking at how do you keep your spirit high? How do you keep your energy high? For the last 20 years, especially because I've been in business for about that long, I have people coming up to me and asking me, man, your energy, how do you have so much energy? And if you look at my social media, it looks like I am busy and I'm doing all the things. I am, but remember, it's social media. I don't post as much if I'm just relaxing, right? And so we have to take that with a grain of salt. But I do keep my energy high because I take care of myself. And this is part of my spirituality. I have a mantra, body before business. And so what I mean by that is first thing in the morning, I don't look at my phone. I also ask my clients, invite them not to do that because what's happening, as soon as you look at your phone, you're reacting, you're checking your emails, you're checking social media, you're not even in relationship with you, the most important relationship. And so also we're setting the tone of our day by reacting to other things, stress. And so instead, I actually put my hand on my heart and I just breathe in. I breathe in gratitude. I'll say, good morning, Rosalind. Yes, I actually talk to myself. I know it sounds silly, but hey, I love myself. And I didn't always. And it's like, okay, good morning, Rosalind. And as I am tuning into me, I may say an affirmation, and the affirmations might change. Today's affirmation was, I am powerful. I'm here to serve. I can't wait to share more of my energy and my message as I'm recording this podcast. And so it's literally having positive self-talk. Then I will work out because I love to move my body and I think it's really important. I sit in front of the computer a lot. and I'm gonna crank up my shoulders all the way up to my neck. That's not fun. But I know that movement helps so I don't hurt. But movement also gives me energy. And I nourish my body. I choose to nourish my body with foods that nourish me, that make me feel energized. I eat to perform. And I know that sounds a little bit like I'm a machine, but I know what foods make me feel tired, and I know what foods make me feel energized. I also am a soccer player, so I don't want to eat and feel lethargic and have it affects my performance on the soccer field. I think the same way. I eat to mentally perform, to be able to be present in my life for myself, for my kids, for my husband, for my friends, for my clients. I choose that. I'm not perfect. Of course, I will indulge in, I love cheesecake, and I will use my discretion of when I will choose to eat that. It's not going to be every day. It won't work for my body. I love wine, but it doesn't love me back. I love cheese. It does not love me back. And so these are sacrifices that I make. But you know what the real reward is? That I get to have energy, that I get to really show up. I get to feel good in my body. I choose that. And I hope that you do too. And that's something that my clients who are high achieving, high performers really love to follow too. They're like, yeah, Roz, you know what? You keep me accountable. And it's like they choose themselves. They choose energy. I also go into meditative practice. For some, it might be prayer, or maybe it's journaling, but you're self-reflecting. You're being in this energy in your purpose, and you're tapping in. What does the universe have for me today? How am I here to serve best today? And sometimes, for some of you, I call them downloads. You might get these hits, these intuitive hits, like, ooh, I gotta put that out there. Ooh, I gotta put that out there. And then here's the signs of confirmation. You start to see synchronicities. Like even this morning, so I live in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm filming at our headquarters in Calgary, which is about 3 hours away from each other. I'm staying at a hotel with one of my girlfriends, who also is one of the facilitators here. Just having breakfast this morning, we were talking about the importance of showing up on social media and getting our message out there, and how you'll start to just get recognized. And I kind of laugh because my husband says, everywhere you go, like you get recognized, even across the world. And I'm like, that is cool. That is really cool. And then we walked into the elevator later, and this woman walks in. We're about to check out. And she goes, hey, I follow you on Facebook. Like, what are the chances? That's a synchronicity. And so it was so wonderful to be able to just have that confirmation happen so quickly. So quickly. It's like, see, we were just having this conversation and here it is. There's lots of wonderful synchronicities. Maybe you're looking for a sign. I'm in the process of writing a book. So I have a book coach. One of the classmates he's like just starting his business. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're everything that I'm moving towards. You're a transformational coach. I'm having a spiritual awakening. He's telling me how he's also like numbers. If you see repeating numbers like 222, 333, Google the meaning. They each have different meanings, but those are usually confirmations that your angels are with you, your guides are with you. It was like, you just did a TEDx, and he's like, these are all things that I like really want to move towards. And I'm like, this is awesome. So great. And he's like, so I could be the sign for somebody, right? Like I'm his confirmation. I'm like, this is so cool, right? And you could be somebody's confirmation. So these are the things that we love to, like from that spiritual perspective, it gets really fun. It gets really fun with the universe. What synchronicities can I make? And I always tell the universe, I'm like, I want to be the queen of synchronicities. And so it's so much fun. And I'm getting my kids to also see what synchronicities are happening in their lives. One time, this one's a really fun one. I'll leave you with this one. My husband and I had turned our home into an Airbnb about 3 years ago. And we moved out to Kelowna for about 2 years. And then as we were moving back, we stopped in, like my husband was driving a car with my older son. And then me and my younger son, Logan, we were in the other car. And so we stopped at Safeway. There was a homeless man there, and he was asking for money. I said, hey, why don't you just come in and I will buy you some food? He came in, He picks out what he wanted, and I paid for his food, and off he went. And then my son and I were driving along the highway. At the next town, we made a stop to get some lunch. And we were just waiting in this line. The man that was before us paid for our lunch. We didn't even talk to him. He was just standing in front of us. And that is powerful. Like, it happens that quickly. I was amazed. I was like, wow. And that's what happens when we go into, I'm going to call this it's not my words, quantum field, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a doctor, he talks about this quantum physics, about this space up here, this quantum field, spiritual space. And that's what happens. These messages get sent up there, and then it's in the field. So it's your vibe. That's what you start to attract. And that's how we create more synchronicities. It is so powerful. And so when I work with my business leaders, owners, teams, we're looking at how can we really tap more into our intuition. I know for me, a lot of my clients are attracted to work with me because this is the cutting edge. So working with the neuroscience and then through the unconscious mind, which is connected with our spirituality. Okay, there's lots of science that actually backs this up. It's so fascinating that this cutting edge, we have information. People love to hire me so that I can support them in really developing their spiritual health, their intuition, so that they can learn how to really trust their gut and not let that ego mind, the conscious mind, get in the way to sabotage. So no longer are their money, income being a roller coaster. No longer is their weight also being a roller coaster, right? We actually take ourselves to set a certain standard energetically. And then we take ourselves to the next level. And then we take ourselves to the next level, because there's always another level. And I don't mean in a way that's like achieve. Maybe it looks like that, but inside it's like fulfillment. That's what the most important thing is the fulfillment piece. Lots of business owners have achieved a lot, and yet they still don't feel successful. Why don't they feel successful? Because they're playing a game that they could never win. They keep chasing. So when we look at the spiritual piece, that creates fulfillment. That really creates so much more fulfillment. And so things on the outside are manifested based on results of when you focus on what you want, you shift what's unconsciously happening so that unconscious and conscious mind match. Then that's when we can be truly in our quantum leap next level self. So I hope that this episode was really helpful for you. We talked about the 3 pillars: psychology, neuroscience, business, and spirituality, and how when we bring that all together, it really supports you to be a self-led leader in your own life first, and then as well a leader in your organization. I would love to hear your takeaways from here. Please put in the comments below. I would love to really see how you are going to be taking what resonated and implementing it into your life, into your business. Because remember, my friends, you are very worthy. You are worthy to flourish in your life. Thank you so much. You can find me at rosalindfung.com. And as well, please go to visit our website, flourishingworkplace.com and certifiedflourishingcoaches.com. Thank you so much.